Hi, everybody. My talk does not include the word Baltimore. My name is Mike Specian. Out of curiosity, how many people here are professional wrestling fans? This is going to be fun. Okay. If you think that professional wrestling is ridiculous, then CM Punk agrees with you. This is the story of how this wrestler risked his entire career to try to change the business forever. Now, at its core, professional wrestling is about conflict. The setup is quite simple. Through interview segments, wrestlers will vocalize their disagreements, the denouement of which occurs in the form of a wrestling match through which a victor is crowned. Now, the finishes are predetermined, but the matches themselves are largely improvised, such that the art of wrestling is the ability to work with the audience and your partner to spontaneously craft and breathe life into a story. Now, I'm not going to pretend that it's all good art, but when it's done well, there's absolutely nothing better. And very few people do it better, on the microphone, in the ring, even on commentary, than CM Punk. But proving that in the world's largest professional wrestling company requires more than just talent, requires opportunity. And in WWE, opportunity is doled out by one head honcho, Vince McMahon. The problem is that Vince thinks his programs are variety shows. Look at his characters, okay? He took Olympic weightlifter Mark Henry, gave him the gimmick sexual chocolate, and then wrote him into a relationship with a senior citizen. Who then got pregnant and gave birth to a hand, who's now a teenager. Now, I wish I was making this up. Now, in contrast, CM Punk is an old-school wrestler. He's a man who believes that stories are more compelling when they're amplifications of reality. Now, to put it kindly, he and Vince disagree on what the future vision of wrestling should be. So much so, in fact, that company memos say that they didn't even want Punk in their minor leagues. Yet, in 2006, through the insistence of one influential advocate, Punk did make it to the main roster, and his dysfunctional relationship with his new employer was off to the races. For the next 5 years, Punk was an artist, drowning in Vince's cliche-infected cartoon universe of mediocre comedy and bad soap opera, a world where talented potential stars of the future were continuously sacrificed to a small, stale group of main eventers. It was a world in which good guys had to be invincible superheroes, bad guys had to be whining cowards, and CM Punk was Daniel Day-Lewis, stuck in a world of Transformers sequels. Finally, and out of frustration, Punk decided to let his contract expire. And WWE, in a moment of lucidity, chose to use Punk's real-life discontent as a way to promote his final match. So, on June 27th, 2011, Punk was given a live microphone to sell that match and dropped what can best be described as a verbal pipe bomb. With nothing left to lose, Punk just broke the fourth wall and started talking about everything he hated about WWE's creative philosophy on their own show while it was happening, okay? He called out backstage executives as douchebag yes men, mentioned rival promotions, and said, quote, "I'd like to think that this company will be better after Vince McMahon is dead, but we all know it's just gonna get taken over by his idiotic daughter and his doofus son-in-law and the rest of his stupid family." And then they cut his mic. For the next several weeks, Punk continued to advocate for the right of artistic expression in a place few expect to find it. It became known as the Summer of Punk. The fan response was overwhelming and had left WWE with an impossible decision, because the fiction of having John Cena retain his title against a man who was legitimately leaving had unexpectedly collided with the reality that if they scripted Punk to lose, they were going to alienate a large and energized group of fans who for once had a reason to be emotionally invested. Fans were white hot for this match, and not just because it was for the WWE Championship, but because it was a proxy battle for the future of the entire wrestling business. A future, it turns out, which was going to be determined or revealed by the winner of this match. And Punk won. About a month later, we learned that Punk had agreed to a lucrative new deal literally 1 hour before his match. As of today, CM Punk has been WWE champion for 333 consecutive days and is arguably the most indispensable part of their show. As for changing the medium of wrestling, Punk said of the creative team just 3 weeks ago, quote, "Trust me when I tell you they still have no idea what they're doing." Perhaps not. But with CM Punk around, they'll never be too far from the answer.